This morning I woke up a little bit earlier than normal at 5:30 a.m. Then I went downstairs to spend a little bit of time with the Lord and had some friends join me. After my quiet time, I fed my cats and then went to do some posing practice and check-ins. Then I weighed in at my lowest weight in 3 weeks. Then I went downstairs to give my diabetic cat her insulin and a little bit of a treat afterwards. Then I got dressed to get ready to do my rest day recovery routine. First, I always start the morning by drinking 42 ounces of water out of my Wild Gear cup. So to start off my recovery routine, I do this stretch with my roller on my low back, and then I move it to my mid back and then my upper back. I'll be honest, I do not know what this is called. On this, I like to think about trying to get my shoulders to touch the floor on each one of these. On the last two, I definitely can't get it, but that's the cue I'm thinking about whenever I do this stretch. So after that one, I just roll out my back like normal. Then I use this little tool that looks like two lacrosse balls stuck together, and I'll first do a trigger point, which as you can see, that was pretty painful. And then I will roll it up and down my back. Just like with the roller, I start with my low back and then go to my mid back and then to my upper back into my traps. Then I just do a simple T-spine stretch. I do 3 to 5 on each side typically. Then I'll move to my glutes and I'll start rolling them out like normal, and then I will put my foot over the other knee to get an extra stretch while I roll. I always try to make sure that I'm hitting every part of my glute max, med, and min. Then after doing that on both sides, I move to rolling out my hamstrings. Then I will put this green band around my foot and use that to stretch my hamstrings. And today my hamstrings are pretty tight from my leg day on Friday, so it was a little painful. Then after doing that on both sides, I went to stretching out my glutes. Then I went on to a hip flexor and hamstring stretch that is working the hip flexor of the side with the knee down and the hamstring of the side with the foot down. Then today I was using the core nexus hip flexor release tool in order to loosen up the iliacus, which is a hip flexor muscle. Then I did these, I don't know what they're called, but they are really good for loosening up the hips and groin, and I did a couple squats just to enforce the movement. Then moving on to my absolute favorite part is these stretches with the green band. I use it to get my lats, my rear delts, my front delts. It's just the greatest thing ever. Then I went to walk on the treadmill and finish my 42 ounces of water and read my book by Gary Thomas. If you don't know, I am trying to reach 30 books by the end of the year, and this is book 19, and I am loving it so far. I have like 14 pages left. We reached 5,000 steps, and now it was time to make breakfast. So for this morning's breakfast, I had 70 grams of oats, my Prozis creatine, use code COOTS10 on your next order, some potassium salt, whey protein in the form of whey drip, which you will see in a second, and then I had some raspberries and nut butter on top. Then, since I finished my 42 ounces of water, I was going to have my energy drink for the day. Okay, so I needed to document this part because this is like one of my favorite parts of the morning. Huge fan. So in my current breakfast, I am using 150 grams of frozen raspberries. And now it was time for the whey drip, which, if you have a good protein powder, tastes like frosting. For this morning's breakfast, I used Axe and Sledge's farm-fed vanilla whey protein with a little bit of cinnamon. And for whey drip, you have to be very careful about how much water you're adding in order to get the right consistency. It's an art and it's going to take some practice. So for this morning's breakfast, as usual, I used American Dream nut butter, and for this one, I used their Cinnamon Toasties almond butter. It is my favorite flavor. Use code COOTS, K-U-T-Z, when you shop on their website. They have a ton of different flavors, and they have a variety of types of nut butters. They have almond butter, cashew butter, and peanut butters. Hey guys, so for any bodybuilding peeps on here watching this, I just wanted to take a second and share my competing plans. So I have 2 shows that I have in my mind for this fall that I'm super excited about. So I am currently in prep. So this prep has gone very, very smoothly so far, and a lot of that is because of the way that I do my improvement season. I don't like to say off season necessarily, just because for me, my life looks very much the same in my off season as it does during prep. So the second that I stop a show, my reverse diet is basically the opposite of prep. So you're slowly working up calories and working down cardio to try to get yourself to a healthier place to put on size and make those improvements. For my last stage weight to the average that I've been during my improvement season, I've gained about 7 pounds. Some of that is going to be muscle mass, which I'm super excited to see as we start pulling off the layers of body fat during this prep, but a lot of that was body fat, because after prep you do need to get your hormones to a good spot. During my last improvement season, I got my calories up very, very high when I was at the peak of my softball training on top of bodybuilding and everything. I was a little over 3,000 calories for my maintenance, but on average it was a little bit under 3,000 calories, and so doing 0 extra cardio and at least 10,000 steps a day. Right now, calories are very high. I'm doing 0 extra cardio so far, and my steps are at least 12,000 a day. I've been doing that exact same plan for the past 2-3 weeks, and the first 2 weeks I lost about 0.2 pounds a week, which for me, I'm very, very happy with that. And this past week, I actually lost like a half a pound on average from the average of last week. So that's a pretty big jump. So I'm not going to be changing anything. I'm super excited to see what this season has, to see the improvements that I made. My results-focused goal, which I don't like to have a ton of results-focused goals, because for a result to happen, there's so much out of our control that has to align perfectly. But my results-focused goal is to try to get my IFBB Pro card. I'm not going to measure the success of this prep by whether or not I get my Pro card. I'm going to measure the success of this prep by whether or not I check off all of the boxes every single day and follow the plan that Annie gave me. If I gave it my all, then it was a successful prep. Yeah, so that's it, and I'm gonna get back to the video. Then I just laid out my outfit that I was going to wear to church, and then I got dressed and ready to go. All right, guys, that is the video. It is currently 10:17, and so I'm going to go to church in like 23 minutes. And then for the rest of the day, I'm gonna do a little bit of wedding planning with my fiance, Jack. I'm gonna study for chemistry a little bit because I have an exam this week, and then I'm just gonna relax, clean a little bit, hang out with my cats. yeah, so that is my Sunday rest day morning routine for this summer. Again, it looks a little bit different every single day, but that was just this morning's routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day.